Welcome to Bright New Corner Ministry. My name is Cindy Ann Lewis Walcott, and we are studying life lessons from the Holy Bible. You don't have to be religious, these lessons are for holistic living. Today's lesson I found difficult to name, but I called it a lesson in value. We are studying this lesson in Genesis chapter 25, verses 30 to 34. It is in the story of Jacob and Esau. But before we got to Jacob and Esau, I must introduce them. I must tell you who they are. Jacob and Esau are Abraham and Sarah's grandsons. But let me get you to this point. So we studied in the last lesson that Sarah died and Abraham buried her out of sight. After she died, Abraham's now very old, and he sends his servant out to find his son a wife. He doesn't want a wife for his son from where he is. He sends his servant back to his brother's house, basically. So the servant found Isaac a wife, and the wife's name is Rebecca. They're old now. Isaac's about 60 years old, and she hasn't had a child up to this point. So now at 60, she has twins, two boys. But before that, while she was pregnant, there was a lot of issues, and she went and, talked to God about why is this going on? And God basically gave her a prediction that the younger son will rule the older son. Now, when they were born, Esau was born first, and he was hairy, and Jacob was born second. And now Esau is a hunter. He's an outside kind of fellow, and he brings wild meat in, and his dad really loves his cooking, and his dad loves him. Jacob, mom loves him. So we see a disparity there in the love, but we're not dealing with that lesson. So we come into this lesson now where Esau is coming from outside, and he finds his brother Jacob making food. And he considers himself hungry enough to die. And he asks Jacob, "Would you give me some food?" And Jacob in turn says to him, "Why don't you sell me your birthright for this food?" So even today, I think, or birthright, your order in the hierarchy of your family is very important. And in those days, it was super important for inheritance and everything else. And now, Esau considers himself hungry enough to give up this important, very valuable thing. And I will read for you Genesis chapter, Genesis chapter 25 verses 30 to 34. And Esau said to Jacob, "Feed me, I pray thee, that same red partridge, for I am faint." Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, "Sell me this day thy birthright." And Esau said, "Behold, I am at the point of death, and what profit shall this birthright do to me?" And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. This Esau considered, like, he's just coming from the outside. He has enough time to drink some water and cook. There wasn't a famine there. It wasn't like there was no food. But I guess the smelling of the food, and sometimes we have that. We smell something and we feel if we don't have it, we'll die. But is it enough for you to give up your position in the family, all the rights that you're entitled to in the family for it? So I think Jacob, and the Bible does say that Jacob despised his birthright. Esau despised his birthright. Esau didn't value his birthright as much as Jacob did. Jacob knew the benefits and all the the authority and position and everything that came with that position in the family, with that title. Um, Being the firstborn meant that if your dad passed away, you took the place of your father. And now Esau is giving this up because he figures he's too hungry. And he's basically saying, if I die, I'll be holding this birthright, so I'll be dying with a firm grip on an empty sack. Like that, nothing. Birthright meant nothing to me if I die. But would he have died just because he didn't get some food in that moment? I don't think so. So in life we have to consider what's valuable to us and what's the value of the things we have. How valuable is it out there? um, we heard stories about somebody selling off something in a garage sale for $1, and somebody else selling it up for $1 million. It happened in my family with my niece and her artwork. She just does art for fun, and somebody pressured her into selling it, and she sold it to them because it was just something she didn't want to sell it, but the pressure, the person really liked it. She sold it for a certain price, and before long, her artwork was in an auction and sold for like 10 times what she sold it for. I'm not saying don't sell your art, don't sell what you have, because I also believe is that you shouldn't hold on to something so long that it becomes valueless to everybody. But what are you giving it up for? So Esau gave up his birthright just for a bowl of porridge or lentils, which is gonna go through his body and be gone in a few minutes, when he could have drank some water and went in and did it, cook himself. I hope you see the lesson here and you take time to evaluate your life and what's valuable. What's valuable in your life? What's valuable? What adds value? What makes you you? And what you can afford to give away? What you can afford to give away that wouldn't affect who you are or how you are going to operate. Please, if you do like this lesson, give me a thumbs up. Remember to share and subscribe. Have a beautiful day now. Bye-bye.